Uh, Nice, hot, precious coffee. A little something I haven't had in a while from Second Cup. Well, technically this is my third cup of coffee, but who's keeping track around here? Nobody. They don't need to know that. I just needed a little bit of a getaway and some energy to give me a bit of a boost for cooking. The theme of tonight is going to be, whoa, theme of tonight is going to be liver. And we're going to be whipping that up today on the next session of Wandering Yuki Cheese Cafe. So, I know that there are several cuts of meat that people are not going to want to touch with a 10-foot pole. Things like, blood pudding, slices of liver, chicken hearts, and etc. These organ meats don't sound very appetizing to a lot, but they are sometimes a bit nutritious when you look deep into it. Like, one of my favorite things to make is slices of liver. I know some people will enjoy it as liverwurst, which is liver processed into a little sausage that you could slice up. Or you can also have liver pate that could be spread over a piece of bread. Me, I enjoy having it breaded up and fried in a pan. Again, not everyone's going to like the texture of it or the taste, and they probably won't even want to think about it because they think, I'm eating liver? Gross, gross, gross. But if you are interested in it, this is going to be the menu for tonight. So let's get this all whipped up. Okay, so you can get various kinds of liver out in the store. You got veal liver, beef liver, and even pork liver too. I'm sure there's many more that I haven't touched upon. But sometimes I tend to get the pork liver because it's actually inexpensive too, like a couple of bucks. Like what I have. Oh, here I thought I picked up some pork, but I got some beef liver over here. Huh, I mistook my hog for some cow. Oh well, you learn in some, and then you lose some. Man, I'm so flabbergasted by my animal choice, I'm losing my words. So once again, your basic breading that you use for this is going to be some flour, salt and pepper, and whatever other seasonings you want to use. For this much liver, yeah, if you're not grossed out by this, then hope you enjoy it. Otherwise, it's going to take around, I want to say 2 tablespoons of flour. And then, as usual, your basics, salt and pepper. I don't want to overdo the salt on here, so I'm going to be using around half a teaspoon of salt to mix it in. Give or take, of course. And then a bit of the ground black pepper to give it a nice oomph. Then, of course, it's just a question of what other kind of seasonings do I want to use. So let's add this in, and then let's go observe the spice rack. Alright, I've made all of my choices right now. I decided I'm going to go for some classics. A little bit of garlic powder, because I love my garlic. Some onion powder. That seems to have hardened up a little bit, so it tells me that there's moisture getting in here. Easiest way I could get this fixed is I just beat the shit out of it until it opens up. And then we're set. Turmeric, because apparently, again, that's supposed to be good for you. And if you remember my chicken thigh recipe, this is the exact same spice I use, so go take a look right at the top. Or at the top. Which side is it supposed to appear on? Oh, yes. Mirror image, everybody. And finally, basic paprika. And I'm not going to do too much of this. I'm just going to do like half a teaspoon of each at best. I don't want to overflow the cow with too much flavor. And I suppose you're going to be wondering what else is on the menu, because obviously you need to have some kind of vegetables and a side dish. Well, we'll get to that in 1 second once I'm done with my spices. So I've set up a little layout over here on the counter. To protect myself, I have a little bit of saran wrap to cover here so I can reduce the amount of cleanup I'd have. All you would have to do is take whatever you mixed up together and lay it over the saran wrap. And then once you're ready to fry up your liver, you just heat up a pan, bread it up, and then throw it in. We'll be getting to that shortly. And just to give you an up-close look, here is the liver again. You can say yuck if you don't like it. And here's the flour mixture. Should be enough to give it a nice coating all around. And right here I have a skillet with a little bit of butter to melt and then fry it in. Once again, I always like to use unsalted butter, just because if I'm using salt in a recipe, I don't like to overdo the salt content on here. I always think salt on salt action, you don't want to have a lethal dose of sodium. Yeah, my stove is a bit dirty, but I have a few theories or beliefs about that. If it's always clean in the kitchen when you're cooking, it means A, you're most likely going to be cleaning it obsessively after everything, or B, the most likely scenario is that you don't even use the kitchen to begin with. So first, oops, wrong one. I'm going to turn this to medium heat to start melting it up, and then we can get started. This butter is looking well melted now, so it's time to get this all breaded up. Okay, I'm going to just grab a piece over here. Ooh, it's nice and big. All you got to do is really rotate it on both sides, just enough to give it a nice coating. And then once you're done, you just throw it in the pan. I have 2 pieces over here, so this is going to give me like around 2 meals worth. Not bad at all. Yep, dead silence. It's like John Cage once said, silence is also considered music. So here we are. Oof. This actually isn't going to fit as much. But I guess worst case, it's going to shrink so eventually it will fit. I shouldn't stress out too much about it. Gonna do the same thing with this. Ooh, a clump of onion powder. Let's sprinkle that on. Beauty. I wish I had some cheese to dispense of now, but sadly, I'm all out of reserves. Unless I get some sudden inspiration yet again. There you go, pat your organs. Gotta treat your liver really well. Well, I guess to treat your liver well, that means that, you should not drink at all. But we're in a pandemic. Who's not going to drink now? All right. So now, lay this in here. This is what happens when you're on camera, man. But somehow you can multitask. And then just to give a bit of a runoff, I'm going to sprinkle just a little bit more in here. I want to make sure I get all the flour in there. I don't want to waste any batter. This stuff costs money, you know, y'all. Y'all. Sounds like I'm coming from the mean streets of St. Hubert. Well, I do live right beside railroad tracks, so technically I guess I'm from the streets. Okay. So now that's done, we're gonna let it cook, and I think I gotta find a way to wash my hands. And to help it cook a little bit faster, I'm gonna go from medium heat to medium high. It's already starting to sizzle up just a little bit, but you kind of want to have it cook well. So now I have this saran wrap with all the remnants of the liver and the flour. Just gonna wrap it up like this. Ease of cleanup. There you go, minimal scrubbing. I say minimal because even if you have a little bit left, even if you get all of it off, you're still gonna have some remnants there. So, in the interest of full disclosure, yes, I do clean my stuff. And to show some proof, just so you know that my kitchen's not a germ factory, I have Hertel patented disinfectant that I'm gonna spray. You want to aim that away from your food, and above all else, aim away from your face. We don't need to disinfect our eyes. There. This is good to go. Get a load of that sizzle, everybody. Whoops, cordon away. Voila, blooper omitted. This is how it's looking right now. Sizzling well, it's starting to bread up. So I think it's time to give it a good flipping. I'll just take a fork, give it a rotation. There, nice and brown. Eventually should get some char marks on here to show that it's getting well cooked. Because this is like such a thin slice of meat, you don't need to make it cook for too long. And this is the reason I had a little bit of excess butter in here, just to make sure that I have enough coverage so that it's able to brown up properly. Cooking spray, oil, butter, margarine, etc. This is what combines with the meat and the heat to give it that nice crisp flavor when you want to sear it up. Time to get a new fork too. And I suppose you're wondering what kind of side dishes I'm going to have with this wonderful or disgusting piece of meat. Well, I decided to whip up a little bit of basmati today. As usual, it's just 1 and 2/3 cup of water, a little bit of salt, with 1 cup of rice. But I decided to dress up a little bit today. I've added a bit of curry. 1 teaspoon of curry gives it enough flavor and that Middle Eastern scent that just hits you too. That way you take that white rice, make it yellow, something that blends it for all. But, what was I talking about again? Oh yeah, nice and yellow rice for no. Take that white rice and you're gonna make it all yellow. I suppose I'd rather have yellow rice than pink rice. Pink like the Pink Panther, I suppose. Well, actually, let's play that. Oh yeah, one of the best theme songs of all time. And a little foreshadowing to another Wandering Yuki Cheese Cafe episode. We shall stay tuned. Alright, let's have a look-see here. Ooh, some pink over here. But let's give it a nice flipping. There. Now this is really starting to char up well. I suppose if you want to cook this properly, just make it more close to the center as much as you can. That's where most of the heat is going to generate from. And you'll notice on your pans that they do have a red dot there to indicate that it's almost like playing target practice there. Like, aim here, shoot there, put your meat here. One last flip for good luck. Yeah, this is looking well cooked. Might be time to start preparing the dish. Give me some time, I'll get the plate ready, and then we shall do a final taste test shortly. We'll be right back. Okay, just to reiterate, we have 1 slice of beef liver over here breaded up with a little bit of curry rice. And I decided to put some spring mix salad in here. And I'm actually getting experimental now. I have a pack of pumpkin seeds that come with cranberries and a mystery dressing over here. I don't know what pumpkin seeds are like, but I guess it's the first time for anything. I suppose I'll do this one first. Not bad at all. I'm okay with it. Now let's try out this liver, see what this is like. I already know what it's like. Oh yeah. Quite good stuff if you're a fan of this. And if you're not, well, you can just look at me like I'm a ghoul. I don't think I'm a ghoul. Oh, right. Okay, scratch that. 364 days a year, I'm not a ghoul. 1 day a year, yeah, I can see your point. But I think I got my cow, and now it's time to get some bear. No, it doesn't mean I'm having a slice of a bear steak for supper. I'm gonna have some freshly squeezed bear juice to cap off the weekend. Boreal Northeast IPA. Oops, I might have got some on my salad. But I suppose that you could have beer marinated anything these days. So, quite satisfactory, great cooking again. So, let's give a toast to the weekend. This has been another edition of Wandering Yuki Cheese Cafe. Thanks for watching, everyone. Remember to always subscribe, hit the like, send a comment, and you can always send a request for any video you want. I'll see what I could do. Cheers to y'all.